Hi, this is Marcel with another battle report for the Mighty Die. I did not do that well in the last tournament that Leon and Steve reported on, and this was mainly due to my inability to handle huge bases. Because of that, I put the Mountain King into all of my current lists, and that means I'm playing a take on my Doomshaper 2 list that is a little bit different. I'm actually playing in theme this time, Power of Dunya of course, and I'm bringing a Mountain King, Malk the Ancient, Dire Troll Mauler, Troll Exile and Troll Bouncer, which gives me a free Rune Bearer, a free Janissa Stone Tide, a free group of whelps, and I have enough points left for a maximum Creelstone and a Stone Scribe Elder. My opponent is bringing Elara, Death's Shadow, Elara 2 that is I think. He has a small battle group with a Chimera as an Arc Node, a Griffin as a Shield Guard, and a target for Scything Touch, and 2 Manticores. He's also bringing a couple of solos, namely 2 Mage Hunter Assassins, Narn, 3 Arcanist Mechanics. He has a maximum unit of Mage Hunter Infiltrators, a maximum unit of Strike Force, both with unit attachments, and a unit of Spears of Skyra. All of this is in Shadows of Retribution theme, which means he gets a takedown on all of his melee attacks from warrior models, I think. The scenario is Recon 2 from the Steamroller 2017 package. It has 2 large rectangular zones with a flag on one end and 2 objectives. As we both do not have a need for Pathfinder or a need for magical weapons, we both choose Stockpile to get some healing out of that objective. He wins the roll off and decides to go first. His battle group spreads out in the middle of the board. On the left side is his caster with the Spears of Skyra. He has both units in advanced deployment, so he can deploy after me and deploys them exactly the other way around that I had hoped. On the left side go the Infiltrators, on the right side the Strike Force, and 2 Assassins in the middle. I keep my battle group also in the middle of the board. The Mountain King goes a bit to the left because he doesn't care about the water and can just move through that. The rest of my beasts tend a little bit to the right, together with my caster, and to the far left I deploy Janissa and the Whelp to help protect the zone on the left side, and also unjam the Mountain King in case he jams him with infantry. On his turn he runs everything forward, he puts his caster into the forest, he spreads out his infiltrators on the left side, and his strike force on the right side clumps up into the forest. What I find quite interesting is that he's actually giving me an assassination angle for bottom of 1. If I put Rush on my Mountain King and charge him at Elara, I can spray him with the Mountain King's 10-inch breath, and after that arc some primal shocks from Doomshaper through the Mountain King. I discussed this with him and then decide not to take that assassination, but just for fun we roll it, and I would have won the game here and now if I had taken it. But all of that depended on the Mountain King hitting his first spray, so the caster gets -2 def and I can reliably hit my primal shocks, and hitting that breath was about 50% if I boost, so I think it was the right decision not to take it. Instead of that I charge the Mountain King to the left and take out Iris with a spray. I also move Janissa to the left and take out 2 of the infiltrators. The rest of my beasts go to the right to kill a lot of the strike force next turn, hopefully, and I put Malk in the middle, so he can decide on going left or right, depending on where my opponent puts his battle group. Wild Aggression is on Malk, and it was from the beginning, because due to Power of Dunya I get free upkeeps turn 1, and so I'm able to completely fill the stone. On his second turn, my opponent jams the Mountain King on the left side with his infiltrators. He also charges Janissa, but he doesn't manage to kill her. On the right side, most of his strike force retreat. Only 3 are moving forward, and also his Chimera is moving into the zone. I'm not sure if that is just to score if I don't move forward, or if he has a plan to arc some nasty stuff through there. His Manticores and his Griffin stand back and stay in charge range to whatever kills the Chimera. He's also moving Elara back behind his battle group out of the forest, probably because we talked about that assassination with the Mountain King the turn before. On my turn, I charge in with Malk and kill the Chimera, and with Overtake I overtake back, kill another one of the warrior models, and overtake another step back. So I'm just out of charge range of the Manticores, which makes me think Malk is safe here under the stone on armor 21 with a retaliatory strike. The bouncer also goes in because I'm thinking about either trading him next turn, or what is more probable is I will need the additional attacks to kill all of the warrior models that will be charging in. On the left side, my Mountain King gets Wild Aggression after Malk is done with it, and does a swipe attack to kill half of the units blocking him. I try to kill some more stuff with Janissa, but I miss. My Exa also charges forward and kills one warrior model, and that's my turn. Nobody scores anything because everything is contested. I forgot to take a picture of his next turn, but what happens is the Griffin gets Scything Touch and charges Malk. He hits Malk, Malk does his retaliatory strike and doesn't slam the Griffin. For this retaliatory strike, the Griffin gets another retaliatory strike, and in the end he can do 5 attacks on Malk, all of them with Scything Touch. After that he just needs to charge in Narn and one of the assassins, and Malk is gone, just like that. Just with a light jack and 2 weapon masters. I discussed with him if I could have saved Malk if I had just kept on killing his warrior models and overtake back, but all of his stuff was way too fast and would have reached Malk anyway. His strike force on the right side puts some points of damage into the bouncer, and 3 of them try to shoot my rune bearer, but all of them miss because he's slightly behind that wall. On the left side he is killing Janissa and is putting some more damage into the Mountain King, and he also leaves a covering fire template just in front of my stone unit, so I can charge them in to kill his warrior models. So next turn is feed turn for me. First I move the Mountain King up and try to kill some of the Spears of Skyra, because he actually doesn't really have a charge target that is worth it. The stone unit activates, uses stone strength and gets a run charge order. Most of the guys are moving forward around the covering fire template. One is charging to the left, which cannot really be seen here, and jams 2 of the infiltrators. One of them actually got a 666 on a free strike on the Mountain King and gave him 6 damage. On the right side I give Rage and Wild Aggression to my bouncer. What I wanted to do is clear the path for the Mauler by killing Narn barn and the Mage Hunter Infiltrator that is still standing there. But that didn't work out. The Infiltrator was left standing, so I couldn't charge my Mauler but had to trample him, which cost me the 2 initial attacks and probably the grab and smash. But I figure 5 attacks should be enough for at least one of the Manticores here standing there. In the end, it is not even enough for one, because one of the 5 attack hits. Everything else is around a 3 or a 4. I don't really hit anything. And yeah, after that I move in the Exer to the other Manticore and hope to at least damage something there, but that also doesn't work out. At this point I think I lost the game. What I should have done instead is don't care about the bouncer. The bouncer shouldn't have gotten Wild Aggression to clear the path. Wild Aggression should have been on the Mauler, and then just trampling the Mauler in, killing all the stuff that was in the way, and after that having boosted attacks to kill at least one of the Manticores with power 20 attacks. The bouncer could have cleared some stuff by just boosting his own attacks. My opponent just has to clean up next round. He also feeds, and then one of his Manticores kills my Mauler, the other Manticore kills my Exer. His Mage Hunter Strike Force kills most of the stone unit and only leaves the Elder standing. The Mage Hunter Assassin charges Doomshaper and puts 24 damage into him. Luckily I can give that to the Mountain King, but that completely wipes out 2 of his aspects. As I have already lost because his caster is way too far away for any kind of assassination threat from my side, I just try to score some points. So I move Doomshaper over and give rage to the Mountain King. The Mountain King charges the enemy objective and kills it for 1 point. He kills the Spear of Skyra that is contesting the zone for 1 point, and scores it for 1 point. The whelp I have on the left side gets to the flag, and my unit attachment from the stone that is still standing goes into his zone to contest. So I go to 3, and at least I have scored some points on this. On his turn he kills my Mountain King just for fun, and then charges in his Mage Hunter Assassin and kills Doomshaper. No tough, because he has that bonus from his Theme Force. So what did I learn from this? Number 1, even a light Warjack can kill heavy with a little bit of support from Weapon Masters and Scything Touch on him. Number 2, Wild Aggression on a light Warbeast is a waste most of the time. I should just have trampled my Mauler with Wild Aggression in. I would have killed everything the bouncer did and would probably have hit the enemy heavies often enough to kill them. And the Exer would have been needed on the left side to ungem the Mountain King, because my Gargantuan didn't even get into the game until round 3. What I learned in a positive way is that Doomshaper with the Mountain King actually has a pretty nice assassination trick with getting the Mountain King into 8 inches of the enemy Warcaster and then using a Primal Shock, which is basically an Arknote spell through a beast. And with a base strength of 15, that means I can do power 15, range 8 attacks starting from the Mountain King. So I don't even need line of sight from my Warcaster. If I have the Runebearer in my army, I can either do 4 unboosted Primal Shocks or 2 completely boosted Primal Shocks. At power 15 that hurts. And if I even managed to charge in the Mountain King and get a spray power 16 on the enemy caster, he will be at def -2, so even easier to hit. This time I didn't take the assassination because hitting the spray was too unlikely, but it is something I should keep in mind for future games. So, thank you for listening to me. If you saw any huge mistakes I made and that I didn't mention in my battle report, just put them in the comments below. Thanks and see you next time.